Recently, you were just appointed to the Blueprint Commission, which is a statewide task force to reform the juvenile justice system. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What that entails?
Sure. I'm very proud to be a member of the Blueprint Commission. It was created about 2 years ago by Governor Charlie Crist, and we were assigned the task of going around the state. We had 7 or 8 statewide hearings where the public spoke, and we heard from experts who were brought in, frankly, from all over the country in areas of juvenile justice reform, prevention, drug education, just kind of the state-of-the-art things in juvenile justice. And then we commissioners, there were 25 of us, and there were 2 juvenile judges. I was one, and Judge Langer from Miami was the other. We sat down over a period of months and made recommendations to the governor and legislature. And I'm very proud to say one of those recommendations, some changes to our zero tolerance laws in school, was implemented this year. And because of that, we're going to see fewer arrests for minor incidents of kids in school. And that's going to help a lot, because to have an arrest record is not a good thing. It's a public document.
Right.
And it may prevent kids from getting a loan, a scholarship, a job. So we're very proud of that accomplishment.
Now, you mentioned drug education, so there is a drug prevention component that you've recommended?
Right. The recommendations we made, which are statewide, is that the emphasis be put on prevention in all areas. Prevention as far as gangs are concerned, guns are concerned, and certainly drugs. That education, begin in the schools and begin in the community and be given frequently, often. And also that kids who do enter the juvenile justice system because of an arrest, for example, for marijuana, often that's their first contact with juvenile justice. So we're trying to prevent the arrest, but to put services in place. And those services would certainly include intense drug education, so there wouldn't be another incident. That was our goal, and frankly, in Pinellas County, we just started 3 months ago an arrest avoidance project. And within 3 months, we have about 200 kids that we've spared an arrest record, but they're getting services such as drug education, individual and family counseling.
That's wonderful. So that would be, my next question was best approaches to drug prevention and your thoughts on some of the best approaches. So that would definitely be one of them. Do you have any other approaches that you would
once
recommend?
they reach the juvenile justice system, we have a very good, here in Pinellas County, very good juvenile drug court. And that is very effective too. So I think just handling it in all kinds of ways, whether they're, you do it hopefully before even arrest through education, but with an arrest or when they're brought into court through this intensive services like a juvenile drug court, frequent random urine screens. And I also believe in rewards for kids. I think kids who have had a problem and who have clean urine screens and pass a drug program successfully, really should be rewarded, and the community should really step in and figure it out, whether it's going to be movie passes or, a special trip or something. Because so many of these kids have so few things in life that are really happy and positive.
Positive reinforcement is really the best way to go. Many years ago, they used more of the punishment, but now, I think the positive reinforcement.
That's what we're trying. You're exactly right.
As far as family court and delinquency court, it's not drug court, but you run into so many cases that do involve drugs.
Right.
How do you feel that the court professionals and the judges are trained? Are they trained adequately on the drug issues, do you feel?
Yes, I think the judges receive very good training at our judicial conferences. We have 1 or 2 a year, and the last couple of years we've had very large sessions in drug education, a plenary session for 3 hours where we were taught all about different kinds of drugs and the effects and prevention and different means of treatment, lengths of time of treatment, things like that. I think the judges are educated quite well, and the personnel in our drug courts certainly have a lot of good experience and have worked elsewhere in the drug field, before they come to court.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but in 2010, Florida may potentially have a ballot initiative to legalize marijuana as a so-called medicine. Now, if that were to happen, do you feel there could be an increase in marijuana-related cases that come in that have a direct correlation to drug use in your court?
Well, because of my position, I can't speak to the merits of the ballot initiative. But from what I see as a juvenile judge over the last 7 years, I wouldn't like to see anything that increased the use of marijuana among kids or the parents who are supposed to be responsible for taking care of kids. And I feel that if legalization did lead to more accessible marijuana, the cases in our child protection court and in juvenile delinquency would increase, because I think marijuana would be more accessible to both the parents and the kids. I think one thing I learned that I didn't know before I took this job 7 years ago was that the kids using marijuana is not done as a happy party time, let's all get together and have a great time. In very, very many cases, these kids have mental illness problems, they're depressed, they need counseling, individual counseling, family counseling. They've experienced very serious developmental trauma through their lives, and they're using marijuana to medicate, to relieve stress, to relieve depression. And I certainly wouldn't want to see any more than there is now use of that.
I agree, and I thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you. It's been very interesting talking to you.
And I thank you for watching. This is Lana Beck with Drug Free America Foundation.